Welcome back, everyone. So I did something, and while I'm not feeling too good about it, honestly, it does have to do with the public portfolio that I share with you guys, so I'm going to let you know what I did. So this video is to let you know that I sold one of the stocks in the portfolio. Don't worry, I'll tell you what it is. I just want to say, as I said in the opening, I don't feel good about this sale. It doesn't feel like how it was supposed to end. I bit disappointed that it wasn't higher, that it isn't higher, that I didn't get out higher, not because it's not higher, but because I'm just seeing something different from what the market is, and I feel like in today's market it should be somewhere else, but it isn't. My problem is I think that in the fundamental case for the sector, the asymmetry is flipped in that there's a lot worse that the sector can get and not much better. So while I still think that the company is good and I think that the sector is strong and the company should be higher and should be making a lot more money, I just don't see the asymmetry anymore. But really, I made this sale and I was thinking I was thinking too much about this company. It was stuck in my head, and I don't really have the best single reason because I still honestly believe that this company is cheap. In today's markets, it's really cheap. But the fact that I think the company should be now at a significantly better price than it is, and the market is disagreeing, I don't know what's going to make the market suddenly change its mind. And I think in the meantime, I have too much beta in my portfolio. I need to take some risk off, and I really don't see what the fundamental case is for things getting much better than they currently are. And I can't tell the market what it should be. It decides what is and isn't. And I have to decide within the prices it gives what to do. And so I am selling Stelco. You know, they say buy low, sell high. And honestly, that's what I have to do. Steel, it went far higher, far better than I expected, far quicker. And recently the equities have been falling behind steel. Now, often this can mean either the market is skeptical for now, or B, the market knows that steel prices won't stay this high forever. And while I think they are amazing now, the steel prices, they're really high, as are iron ore. And the way steel price can often work is it's kind of iron ore, something value add stacked on top of iron ore. So the prices are really high, and yet the market can see that and decides this is the price for Stelco. And honestly, I don't really think that the price should be going much higher. In fact, I think it's already too high, but I think that nothing near this price is priced in. And so that's my reason for thinking about this over and over and eventually deciding, you know what, this isn't the type of investment that I should be in right now. Don't feel good about selling. Good news is now it's free to go up because I'm out, and hopefully someday when I think that the fundamentals stack up in terms of less is priced into expectations, I may come back. Because, after everything, when I was buying this stock, I thought, this has a good shot of getting to 25, maybe 30 someday. But now it's here, and the frame has changed. The equity, the price is way beyond where I thought it was going to go, and the equity compared to this price is cheap. But if I back it out, think, okay, let's say the price was just plain high, not really high. Well, if it was just plain high, the price here would be about right. And about right for the top of the cycle, arguably still cheap, but I dislike betting on prices to remain very, very high. And as I kind of mentioned before, I really don't know what it would take, what would cause the market to say, aha, it's cheap. We knew the steel price was here, but this stock was cheap. And I really can't think of what would cause that to happen. And in the meantime, I think that not in the next few weeks necessarily, but in the medium term, I think there's a lot of downside risk to steel price. And while I think steel prices could fall 25% and the stock would still be fairly valued, again, I needed to take some beta out of my portfolio. So there's a few ways that I look at it that kind of help me. And one is that selling this position that's a decent sized position, it's a lot of beta in my portfolio, allows me to keep other things that are risky while at the same time de-risking my portfolio as a whole. The other thing is, realistically, I could see this stock being at 80 and it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be like, wow, that doesn't make any sense. But for me, I don't think I would have really held it much past 40 maximum. I was starting to think, give me 35. And realistically, once I kind of backed it down to, okay, where would I realistically have been happy selling? And I don't really have an answer that is too much higher than where it is. And so let's say I was going to sell at 35. Now we're high 20s. It's higher for sure. But I then go down to my next thought, which is I prefer being in situations where I believe they will eventually go up, not situations like this where the price is really high and I think eventually the price of steel at least will go down. And in the meantime, there could be a great amount of money to be made, and I honestly believe that I'm probably at least a few weeks early. I don't know that, and if I still needed a few more weeks before the tax whatever kicked in, I'd probably still be holding. Really, this position has just been recently on my mind too much for the size position that is, for where I think it is in where steel is in the cycle, and it hasn't been on my mind in a good way in that, oh, I think this is going to make me so much money because this is going to happen. It's why isn't it working? Don't have a good answer, and so really, I know if I held it for too much longer, I'd probably frustrate myself into making some type of mistake, selling it as it's going down far too much. And so for that reason, and all the others I mentioned, even though I really don't like it, I'm out. So just to recap, this is what I'm putting in the model portfolio. As you knew, day that I disclosed that I bought it, price $6.19. Today, disclosing that I'm selling it, price $29.40. Decent return, but it certainly doesn't feel like as much of a win as it feels like it should have been. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for coming, everyone. Remember, non-investment advice. I just wanted to keep you all updated, and that's it for today. Till next time, have a great one.